Welcome to the annual general meeting for the Burton and District Chamber of Commerce. I'm live today with our President Nik from Hardy HQ, not our normal venue, which is the, not knocking Hardy HQ, but it's not Burton Albion Football Club and a fantastic two-course lunch that we've become accustomed to. Our hope is that by May 2021, next year, we will be back in Burton Albion and things will have got back to normal. So I'm going to take us through proceedings today, a bit of housekeeping. I'm going to do the formalities. I'll hand over to Nik and then Paul, who will make a couple of speeches. But if you've got any questions as we go, if you could wait till the end and pop them in the message box that you should all have access to. And then when we've done the speeches, I'll then go back and revisit any questions that anybody may have. So I will crack on with the agenda. The first thing is apologies, and I've had apologies from Peter Hardinger, David Alexander, Andy O'Brien, and Andrew Simpson. And Neil Hardy. Thanks, Nick. And then I will move on to the minutes of the last annual general meeting. If you should all have a copy, I can just take you through just for our minutes really, but page 1, and I'll give you a second to have a look. And then page 2. And then page 3. And if there are any amendments, suggestions, corrections, again, put them in the comments box and we will adhere to correct them at a later date. Back to the agenda. If there are any matters arising, we'll again postpone those to the end, and I'll move on to the main reason that we're here. This is a midterm annual general meeting. There's no new president arriving. Okay. I'll try and raise my voice. Apologies if people can't hear me. I'm just getting a couple of comments. I might move a little bit closer. I thought I'd got a really loud booming voice, but obviously not. So, on to the elections of new council members. Before I do that, for the purpose of the minutes, I will just read out the current board members that will remain until May 2021 as they're halfway through their 2-year term. And they are Andy O'Brien, Chris Else, Dawn Ward, Nik Hardy, Peter Hardingham, Shamim Akhtar, Simon Chapman, Neil Hardy, David Alexander, Fleur Robinson, Sean Gray, and Elle Warrener. The people that are actually leaving the divisional council, I've just got a couple of words to say on that, are Jonathan Nason, who's retiring, particularly to go and follow the Tour de France and learn the sax. But just a personal thank you from me. So Jonathan was integral when, in particular, Simon Chapman was president, helping out with the Burton Mail, president's column, and any press quotes that I needed. Mike White is also stepping down, and Mike created and launched the LEP-funded manufacturing distribution group. He helped create some sharing of seasonal employment. My thanks to Mike. And finally, Steve Tallett, who I call Mr. Networker. He supported me as a serial event attendee, and he's most famous in Burton for beating JLR at the GVCC Awards for customer service. Quite an accolade. So I think from behalf of me and Nik, we'd just like to thank the three of you. You've been fantastic contributors for as far as I've been involved in, for as long as I've been involved in the chamber. I will now like to read out the names of the new council members that will join, that will be co-opted on for 1 term until May 2021. Then we will look at the May AGM to make them official council members. So the 3 people I would like to welcome are Jay Hensman from Bromley Hayes, Stacey Brown from Danes, and Richard Wildman from Select Fleet. Welcome. If I could ask for the purpose of the minutes, and I've only got Nik here really, but could somebody propose those 3 for me? Yes. Would anybody like to second?
I will do, Chris.
Thank you, Paul. So now I can officially welcome the 3 new guests. Thank the 3 that are leaving. Thank Nik, my team, and the board for everything that you've done for me personally since we last met. Well, over a year ago now at the last AGM. I've got a fantastic local board, great contributors, a great president and vice presidents. The central team really back us up. And then obviously the local team of Pam, Max and Costas. My thanks to all of you. And then I can hand over to the main man and the main reason for our annual general meeting, which is our president, for now until May 2021, and a good friend. This is Nik Hardy.
Okay. Can everybody hear me okay? Thumbs up? Good, good. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Firstly, I'd like to thank you all for attending today, and also Chris Plant for chairing today's AGM. Now, I'm going to express my own welcome to the newly elected council members. I very much look forward to working with you all in the coming months. As most of you are aware, having completed a 2-year term as president back in May, under normal circumstances, I would have handed over the reins to my successor. However, I'm delighted to be able to continue my tenure until May of next year, and I feel that there are probably still a number of achievements that I would still like to pursue for the division, and I'm as enthusiastic as ever to do so before I leave the role in the capable hands of Sean Gray. We've certainly seen an extraordinary time since the division's last AGM in 2019, but through thick and thin, the Chamber Group as a whole have maintained over 3,000 members, whilst the Burton and District Division has remained strong. It's a testament to the work of Chris and to Costas that we've also welcomed on board, as you've already heard, the new patrons. Hardy Signs, which is of course my own company, Britsec, Bromley Hayes, DNS, R&D and Burton Albion. And just to reiterate what Chris has already said, I'm very pleased to announce that Jinho and Select Car Leasing will also be joining us as patrons this week. Undoubtedly, the COVID-19 pandemic has been a testing time for all businesses of all types across our area. Not least for here at Hardy Signs, the doors here were closed for some 7 weeks before we were able to begin manufacturing again. And like many others in our situation, we were forced to diversify into goods and services that we provide. I'll come back to that word diversify a little later on. Through our chamber connections, we were fortunate to promote the Burton business community on ITV News and also on Radio Derby on several occasions. I'm very proud to say that through the hard work and dedication, we're now running at full capacity once again. Furthermore, we're continuing to help other businesses to ensure their own safe working practices in the light of the pandemic. Of course, nobody knows what the future will hold for all of us, but I would urge all companies to remain positive in their outlook and the future. Around the town, there are many positives to be encouraged. It's great to see the progress being made with the revamp of Station Street, where a more modern and welcoming identity is being created. And I'm confident that this new environment will encourage businesses and property owners to invest in our town. I'd also like to acknowledge the hugely positive impact that a particular flock of swans have had to our town. The Burton Swans Art Trail has proved a resounding success, and it has been a pleasure for both Hardy Signs and this chamber to act as sponsors. The funds raised through sponsorship, merchandise and a final auction will bring a much needed boost to the Burton YMCA. This is a fine example of businesses and the wider community coming together to promote our town in a most dynamic way. I mentioned the word diversify, and it has been without doubt the key to survival for many companies throughout this pandemic. This has been particularly evident in both the retail and hospitality environments. These businesses should be applauded for their efforts in adapting to a changing landscape and offering goods and services to meet that change. Cafes and restaurants have introduced takeaway services, shops have facilitated online ordering and collections, whilst many others have employed methods unfamiliar to them with great success. This, I think, only demonstrates the great entrepreneurial qualities that are prevalent in our region. Many of you will have seen that Daniel Nicola, my marketing manager here at Hardy Signs, has recently been awarded Future Face of Sales and Marketing and Communication. It's a great success for Daniel personally, as it is for my company. But I also feel it's one for the Burton and District Division. to be competing against many talented individuals from across Greater Birmingham. I would urge all Burton companies to get involved in future awards ceremonies. The Burton and District Chamber itself has continued to act as a valuable resource for business through a difficult 6 months. Allow me to offer my thanks to the dedicated team who have made this possible, offering advice, running virtual events and workshops, as well as signposting organisations to where they can receive the best support. And I'm sure my fellow committee members will join me in recognising the hard work of Chris, Pam and Max in promoting the invaluable support offered by the Growth Hub. I understand that this has included more than 3,000 phone calls, helping businesses during the pandemic. And as a result of their efforts, a large number of businesses have been successful in sourcing through the Staffordshire County Council Emergency Grant Fund a total figure in excess of £500,000. It's fantastic. In the same vein, the Chamber has continued to meet through the pandemic with regular virtual meetings. I've been very impressed by the bulldog spirit shown by the committee. It's a spirit that embodies the division and goes a long way towards continually improving our business community. When safe to do so, we're very much looking forward to welcoming you all to perhaps what is seen by many as the most valuable part of their Chamber membership. That's being the networking events and the ability to meet face-to-face and build relationships with other businesses. However, in the current situation, I would urge all members to participate in our virtual events that can be found on the Greater Birmingham Chamber website. So before I conclude, let me add a date to your diary. On the 6th of November, along with many others, I will be taking part in the Burton District YMCA annual sleep out. This year's event will be the 12th annual event, which last year raised nearly £50,000. These funds go to help vulnerable and disadvantaged people across our community. As your president, I'd like you all just to stop and think local, buy local, and support our town. We will all get through this together. Thank you for your time today. And thank you once again for all your efforts in helping the business community of Burton District. I look forward to joining you all in guiding our division to thrive over the coming months and years ahead. I'd now like to introduce our CEO, Paul Faulkner, who I'm sure is eager to say a few words. Thank you, Paul.
Well, thank you, Nick. Hope everyone can hear me okay. And yeah, wow, what a great speech there, Nick. That takes some following, and you know, it does show, doesn't it, what is possible at this time, whereas we'd all, of course, much rather be together, but the way, you know, we've pulled the AGM together, and in particular yourself and Chris and the team at Hardy Signs to still make this an effective AGM is great. But the words that you've spoken there, I think really resonate, and they sum up, you know, what the chamber movement as a whole is all about, and it is about support and togetherness. And you know, couldn't say it better than myself, that we will come through this together. Just a few words from me to follow on from Nick's speech there, and really wanted to start by congratulating you, Mr. President, on this third term, and indeed congratulating all of the exec committee on their roles, and not just congratulating, but also thanking you, and thanking you for the support and the commitment and the engagement and stepping forward. I think, you know, chambers only exist and have a rich history because individuals step up, and they have that sense of the collective being stronger, and that sense of civic duty and wanting to make a positive contribution to the areas where they live and they work. And you know, Nick, you know, you really embody that, and I think, you know, that's true at any time, but particularly right now with, you know, the coronavirus pandemic on. Everyone's got a lot of challenges in their own businesses. It's not been a normal 6 months, to say the least, but you've continued to give very sort of selflessly to the chamber and to lead. And I think, that really deserves an awful lot of praise and credit. And, thank you very much for all that you've been doing there. I mean, it is far from normal. Our chamber group has been in existence since 1813, so 207 years. And you cast your mind back to 1813, I think Wellington was still chasing Napoleon around parts of Spain and Portugal. So it does give you a sense of the history. And I take some comfort in that because, while the intervening 207 years have seen, global conflicts, certainly plenty of economic downturns and upturns and other pandemics. You have to think of Spanish flu about 100 odd years ago. But, business comes through, business survives, and business does prosper and thrive again. And I've got no doubt that we will do that right now. And again, it's thanks to the individuals who play that part. Just slightly to eulogise Nik a little bit more as well, I must say that from the point of view of the Greater Birmingham Chamber, Nik's done a brilliant job in really ensuring that the Burton District Chamber sits right at the heart of our broader group. We've got 10 different divisions, as many of you know. And during this period, the different presidents of the different divisions have, I think, sort of bonded even more closely together. And that's been great for helping to share experiences, share best practice, support each other, and also, of course, to encourage business to be done within our group. And we like to think that, to your message, Nik, of shopping and spending locally, certainly that's in every individual town that we represent. And it's also amongst that broader group because we are part of the bigger chamber family. And equally, just to, Nik has led by example, and he highlighted Daniel's win of the Future Face of Sales and Marketing Award. And it's been brilliant to see the way that the Burton Chamber and Nik and Hardy Signs have embraced Future Faces. It was born in Burton. I'm sure there's a few people on the call will remember that. And over time it's evolved. But in the last 12 months, we had a really big focus to ensure that what Future Faces offers to young professionals is available to those who are starting out in their career in Burton and in the surrounding areas. And, it's by getting involved, participating, entering things like the awards, it really helps to highlight that people can get the benefit of that experience and also that exposure. But again, it takes leadership, as Nik has displayed, to put and push people forward, to trust in what we're offering and to back that up. So again, thank you, Nik, and well done, Daniel. I'm sure you're listening. I don't know if you're behind the camera maybe or behind the sign there, but well done on that. I think that there's he is there. I hope he's got the trophy with him as well. Come on, Daniel. Hey, well done. I suppose just to sort of wrap up, I think we're all aware that challenges are going to continue for some time. There's still lots of uncertainty, and obviously here in Birmingham at the moment, the infection rate had risen in the sort of last few weeks, and we saw some additional measures applied on household gatherings. But we are passing through this now. You can see that in terms of the economic recovery. While April and parts of May were without a doubt grim, and I say there will still be headwinds that we have to face. The green shoots are starting to be very, very visible. It's great to hear you say, Nik, that you're now back at sort of full capacity. And, we know that the recovery isn't as uniform as the lockdown was, and some areas, some businesses, some sectors will take a little longer to recover. But that is going to happen. I think even this quarter that we're in now, we're going to technically come out of recession, which is good news. And I think that, the Chamber's going to continue to be there to support our businesses, to use our independent voice, to lobby, in these continuing tough times and challenging times, and also to help people prepare for the opportunities that are going to be just around the corner. There's no time like the present. And I think it is by pulling together, by supporting, by sort of using the Chamber that we can do that. Finally, must thank Chris for all of his hard work, not just with the Burton and District Chamber, but across our group and beyond into Staffordshire as well. And his partners in crime, Pam and Max Costas, who's done a brilliant job and really made a difference. And it's great to see Costas, I know, back at work this week as well. So, well, thank you to everyone who's joined in today. These virtual AGMs are something we're just starting to get used to. I'm not sure it's a complete replacement for being together and being able to sort of have that sense of spirit and camaraderie in a room. But thank you all who are listening and watching for your engagement, for your support as well. And to say from my side, the Chamber and our team will continue to do absolutely everything we can, strain every sinew to support our businesses and to help make a positive difference. So thank you all. Well done, Nik, as well. And looking forward to continuing to work with you.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Nik, Paul. We have had a question arise from Andrew at COSAM. I know Andrew well. He's struggling to find the help and support via grants in the entertainment sector. I know Pam's worked quite tirelessly with Andrew, but as ever, the chambers do not set the eligibility.
Anna wants to answer it live.
Anna, okay. Oh, I've got something's popped up. That's what I'm just getting used to it myself. How do we?
Dan, you need to know.
Sorry, we are just finding our feet with Zoom. It says Anna Cindy would like to answer the question live. But anyway, let me just while we're looking into that. We don't set the eligibility, and unfortunately, we don't pick what grants are available to who. But what we can do, as Paul said, is lobby on your behalf, Andrew, and just feedback regionally and nationally that our members within our region in the entertainment and corporate speaker sector are struggling and are falling between the cracks. I don't know, Paul, if there's anything beyond that.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point, Andrew. Chris mentioned what we're trying to do is to identify those who have been left behind. I know an awful lot has been done in general to support businesses. Furlough scheme was pretty remarkable, really. But there are pockets where the support just hasn't reached. And I think now as furlough starts to taper off, one of the areas that we're trying to focus on is the need for some additional support for those sectors. And you sort of mentioned there, sort of entertainment. Certainly those in where there's venues and you just cannot get back open right now, will need additional support. There was actually some encouraging news from government today that the Chancellor may use the budget in a few weeks' time to announce some additional measures. I think they're going to be very careful how they position it. They're not going to look to position it as a continuation of furlough or anything like that. But there's a sort of sense that they do understand that there are continuing issues and more support will be needed. Certainly the sort of the cultural sector. I know that the Arts Council, there is that sort of different pockets of funding which is still available, and would certainly encourage Andrew to keep sort of pushing there. But yeah, we're going to keep lobbying for more support and also for government to think about ways that they can potentially ensure that staffing costs are kept low at this time. Maybe there's an extra. They could raise the bar on sort of national insurance threshold before contributions are made, and that's been in our unprecedented times report to date, and we'll be looking to sort of refresh our lobbying ass in the coming weeks as well. But please do feed through examples, Andrew, because live examples of your particular business and ways that you've been impacted are really, really useful when we are speaking to different government departments.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. Andrew will be in touch offline. Give me a call and I'll see where we can help. I don't think there's any more questions in the inbox, to be honest, Dan. I'm just looking. I think that concludes the Q&A. So I think it's just up to me to thank all of our guests for joining us. Please use us. No problem, Andrew just thanked us. Please use us over coming months, particularly in the remaining 8 months left of Nik's term. We are here. Yeah. Nik is completely genuine in everything he says. The Chamber is here to help locally, regionally, nationally. Reach out to us and we will do everything we can to support you during what are these unprecedented times. And I can't wait to get back into Burton Albion, fingers crossed, to
next year.
Say our farewells, but obviously not lose you completely to the Chamber. So thank you to the delegates. If I can ask, we'll bring this meeting to a close. We have got, for those divisional council members that are still on this call, our normal Burton Divisional Council meeting starting at 5 o'clock, but via a separate link. So if I can bid you all a good afternoon, thank you for joining us. That was probably one of our longest AGMs. I've got a bit of a record for super fast 10-minute AGMs, Nick. So
It might be my speech.
Great speech. And so thank you everybody, and we look forward to working with you. And that's it. And thanks Dan for facilitating this here. Cheers.
Thank you, everyone.